What's up guys, Viper FPV here, and today we have part 2 of the how to build your FPV drone with the Armattan Chameleon TI. If you didn't watch the first video, I'll have a link up here in the top right or left, wherever it will be, and just click on that and you can get caught up to speed with what we're doing. In the first video we covered how to do the motors, the flight controller, the ESCs, and all the little tips on how to wire every little thing up. In this video, we're going to go ahead and wire up the Crossfire receiver and wire up the VTX and also the FPV camera. So let's go ahead and go to the bench and let's take a look how it goes. Alright guys, we're at the bench and we have all our parts here. We're going to be using the Foxeer Predator Micro. Or I think no, this is the Mini, not the Micro. And then we have GoPro mount with the Immortal T mount back here. We have a Micro Crossfire receiver, Immortal T, we're going to use it with it. And then we also have this little bumper we're going to put on the front. And what else do we have here? Oh, and we have the Crossfire receiver. Not the Crossfire, I'm sorry, the Unify Pro HV that's back here, which I just kind of dry fitted it for now. We'll be taking that out and messing with it later. So, first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is, this comes in the package, comes with this little cradle here. So what we want to go ahead and do is screw this together. So take your screws. And just tighten those up here. Oh, wrong one. Let me get my other one. And then screw those in there. Alrighty. Right, and then the other side. Alright, that's on there. And then let's just kind of dry fit it in there for now to see how it fits. Yeah, that looks okay. And then where's my plug? I'm going to go and plug it in now, so I don't have to worry about taking it out later. And this is the harness you'll get. This harness goes to something, but this is the one you need. It has this little dongle on the side here. And it's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's exactly it. Plug that in there. There we go. And then we're going to actually need to get the screws for. Go get the screws for it. The Chameleon came with these screws, these longer ones for them mount. I haven't taken them out of the package yet. And I just need 4 of those, I believe. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what we're going to go ahead and do, shouldn't really care about that. We'll just route that back here. And camera angle does not matter right now. And you kind of have an option. You can do the top hole, the bottom. You want to do the middle to the middle. And then the bottom hole to the bottom hole. Because it won't work the other way. So let's stick a screw in there. Kind of see where it's at. If you actually screwed it or not. I think that's in. Is that right? Screwdriver? Nope. Tighten that up. Don't make it too tight yet. Actually, why do I need to move it? We're just pretty much doing it rough fit. So then we'll move it around later when we need to. Do the same thing on the other side. And the camera is mounted. There you go. So the camera mounted, and while I'm over here, I might as well trim these wires up. I'm probably going to go ahead and do is twist them up so it makes it look kind of nice. And then we'll cut them out. So I won't need to go any farther than that. So let's go ahead and cut that up. Where's my wire? Where's my wire cutters? Lost my spot. We'll just figure it there for now. And this harness, you can kind of save it for later or save it for whatever you need extra wire for. Never hurts to have extra wire. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to get this prepared. Just pop that little connector on there. It fits pretty snugly on there. It's actually pretty good. It's kind of twisted. Get that on there. We don't need this, so we put that to the side. That's the other antenna. We'll actually need this later. This is the control, the OSD on the camera. I'll plug that in and get rid of all the OSD on there because I hate it. I'll just use the Betaflight OSD. Don't need these. And let me get this out. Actually, how I have this mounted is actually kind of how I want it, but I need the harness and all that stuff. So let me take this out first, because we'll wire this up probably last. And then, all right. So I have the FPV camera mounted in there, and what we're going to go ahead and do probably wire up the FPV camera first, since we already have it in there. Righty. So we got all the wires there. So looking at the wires, the first wire is positive, second wire is negative, third wire is going to be the, whatchamacallit? The, looks like it's the OSD wire. I actually don't even need that wire. If I unplug it, should I unplug that from the harness before I did put it on there? Oh well. Well, I won't take it out. It's gonna suck doing that way, but that is what it is, right? This is why you want connected the way you want it. Might as well do it now opposed to do it later. Alright, cut that off. Unplugged, and like I said, that last wire is going to be the OSD wire, isn't it? Yeah, we don't need it. So I'm going to plug that. And how I do that, is you take these little tabs here, just lift it up. I always like to use a X-Acto knife or something. And just pull it out. There you go. Now it's out. And then just fold it back down so the plug will go back in. Alright, let me get that back in there and then I'll be back with you guys. It's going to take me probably a minute or two. I don't want you to see me failing with this. Alright guys, so we're back, and actually my GoPro died, so I actually had to go ahead and did some things while I was waiting for it to charge. Just did some basic things. I already actually set up the micro receiver and soldered everything on there and shrink wrapped it. But the first pin on the bottom with this here is ground. Then we have positive, and then we have transmit, and then receive here. So I just went ahead and used the supplied wire that it came with and just soldered those up to those little tiny little pads there. The pads up here, don't worry about that. That's for some type of TBS protocol that they actually have for some of their other things they use. And I also went ahead and already pretty much cut to length my harnesses. This is for the TBS Unify. And then also I wired the camera underneath the flight controller so it's not hanging on top. And already pre-tinned all the wires and everything. So we're pretty much ready to go ahead and rock and roll. So let me go ahead and see if I can zoom in closer without distorting the image. Hopefully that's close enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to be wiring up the ground, which will be right here. This one right here at the end. And then this one here in the middle I kind of messed up. I got some solder on it, but we're not going to be using that one. And then we're going to go ahead and use this next one that's over. That will be actually video in, so that'll be the yellow wire. And then we have the 5 volts, which we'll grab from right over here. Right over here. So let me go ahead and grab my soldering iron and grab my handy dandy guys right here. So see how we can get this done with the camera, like so close. I don't want to melt the little gummy for the thing. That should be okay for now. And then we have video in right there. That's that. And then we just need 5 volts. Even though this camera can take much more than 5 volts, it'll be regulated, so it'll actually be better filtered. So we'll go ahead and do it that way. And just kind of looking at my schematic here for the 5 volt pin. That one is that one. Okay. And then this 5 volt one right here. And there's that. So the wire's all hooked, the camera's all hooked up. So I'm just going to kind of push that under there for now. I'll make it tighter later. And then now we have the TBS Unify. I'm not going to mount it yet. I'm just going to wire the harness up first. So let me go ahead and show you here. There's actually 3. Well, no, it's not. Yeah. There's 2 ground wires here. and I'm going to just put them together. So make sure we don't have a ground loop or anything. Just go ahead and do that. I'm just going to kind of twist them together off camera here. I'm going to touch them with the soldering iron so they bond together. Okay. And the ground will be, let's see here if I have all ground. Okay. So the ground right here. Just going to grab that one right there and solder right there. So that's done. And then the power, actually, you know what? Let me take that off. That is actually not a good idea. And let me take this one off too, on the camera. I have a better idea. I'm going to switch it over to this ground. This looks like a better spot. So I'm going to ground it right there. There. I forgot that we actually need to wire up. I'm going to pull these up here. We need to wire this power up first. So what I'm going to do is on the main harness, since the Unify likes full battery voltage, what we're going to do is we're just going to solder right to the battery leads. So I'm going to put some fresh solder right on top. Like that. And then we're going to grab the power wire. Let's grab that first. Not really on there great. Let's see if I can get some more solder. Really hard to do this. The camera's so close. Yeah, it's much better. Alright, and then the ground wires, we're actually just going to put those on the ground. So they're all sharing a common ground. Two of them. Plug those back together so they're soldered together. This is where your build starts getting ugly when you have tons of wires everywhere. That one's on there pretty good. I think I'm going to do like I did the last one. I'm going to put more solder on top of it. That's tight. That's good. Alright. Fold that back down. And then we have the, what's going on here? Then we have the, let's see, ground, transmit to video out. So, actually, I messed up again. Oh my god. That's actually, let's see. Camera control, video out. 1, 2, 3 is video in. 1, 2, 3 is video in. Skip 1. That's video out. So, yellow wire right here. Two there. Okay. I'll have to fix that later, but for now it's okay. And then the next one over is actually transmit. So actually I had that one on the wrong one. Okay. Yep. So this ground wire is actually transmit. So we'll fix that later. And that means the S bus 5 volts ground. So that is the last one on top is S port, S bus. Volt ground. So I am actually wrong on that one too. Okay. Sorry guys. So hopefully you watched the whole video. So we actually need this one. I'm going to swap that right there. And then that's the ground wire right here. All right, and then we have smart audio, transmit to. Done. So that's all of them wired up. Not the prettiest, done better in my past, but that will work. So now we'll go ahead and kind of tidy up these wires a little bit. First, let me go ahead and zoom out for you guys so we can kind of start putting components together. All right. So now we have the, I guess we'll go ahead and just hook up the Unify and all that stuff first, and then we'll put the receiver back on. Let me shut that off there. And how you pretty much want to do is I already put the sticky pad that comes with on here. I want to go ahead and peel that off. It's peeled off, and first thing first, let's go ahead and probably should have not peeled it off right away. Get that out of the way. And mount that underneath. So we're going to pretty much put it underneath the little mount that's right back here. And then there's screws. Let me move this over. Screws that actually comes with. Actually doesn't come with screws, you actually have to supply your own. But I do have some here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where'd those screws go? There they are. And what you want to do is line up your and just kind of screw it in. Whenever it starts grabbing. That's not right. It's kind of crooked. Yeah. There we go. Let me fix that. Make sure you don't cross-thread it like I almost did. Alright. And the other side there. Get that nice and tight. Not too tight, we're going to strip it out. It's not a good sound, is it? Alright, that's tight. Okay. Now I've got that on there. So it's nice and tight. Let's go ahead and I'm going to twist this up so it looks better. Twisted wires look better than frayed wires everywhere. Plug that in. Okay. And then my plan was pretty much just to slide it in there underneath everything. Underneath the wiring thingamajig. Main plug, and then just sliding it in. Let's see if we can get in there. Yep, almost there. Just a little more. And that pushing down. So that's perfect. Alright, so now it's in there nice. I probably will take a zip tie at the end and probably just put it around it. So that part's done. And then let's go ahead and clean up these wires too for the camera. I'll pull them out here. Give myself a little slack in the front. And remember too, we still have the little dangly thing up here. That's for the OSD. So I can take off the OSD, because what happened is if you start using it, it's going to have OSD from the camera and then OSD from the beta flight, and it's going to be overlapping and it's going to look like crap. So you want to switch that off too. But let's go ahead and get, now I already pre-soldered where I'm going to see where I'm going to solder the micro receiver, actually the Nano. So I'm going to be using transmit 3 and receive 3. And then the ground and positive right here. And like I said, this does get 5 volts when it does have the USB connected. So it's kind of nice, because then you can do all your receiver settings instead of everything just having your USB plugged in instead of having a battery. So this will go ahead and this is the receiver here first. Now, I'll probably go ahead and do first is I'm going to take off this top plate. Give myself a little more room. Sorry, the camera. Alright, that's off. Alrighty. And I'm kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to mount this up. Because what's going to happen is that plate is going to mount underneath there, and then you're kind of going to screw it in like that. So that's how it's going to look. So everything pretty much needs to be mounted now. And I just need to know how much wire I actually do need. So I want to mount it underneath there flat, like so. So let me go ahead and get some double-sided tape. Just using regular double-sided tape here. Stick it there. So now it's stuck there, not perfect or anything, but at least it'll get me to where I can mount this underneath there. me go ahead and put those wires between that. There's not a lot of surface area under there either, so I'm not really sure how this is going to even mount under there, but that's where I want it. I guess. See, that's the problem. You can't mount it there. And that's just too... I think that'll be too far away from that side. So this is kind of like trial and error here, trying to figure out where you want to put it. So I think the best spot probably will be back here. Maybe even kind of on an arm a little bit. Because if I put it up here, the plate, it's just too tall. The plate's going to hit it. And it's too thick to fit between the stack. And I could put it in the back, but then I can't use the front, the Immortal mount, because it won't be long enough, you know? So we're going to go ahead and just do it this way. I'm going to put it that way. And then... And I'll probably move it around too once I get the wires hooked up. So it's probably not going to sit there forever. I just want some rough area where I'm going to put it. Might even just put it right behind the camera plate, like right there, and just zip tie it so it's secure. Alright, so that's where I'm going to probably put it. There's probably better spots that you probably can point out, but for right now, that's where I have it. So I'm just going to tighten up these wires really quick. And I'm wondering if... I don't think I can get them under there since I have the other wires under there. I'll probably just go like that with it. So, let me go ahead and trim off the excess. Put my soldering iron on while I'm waiting. Let's go ahead and strip these wires. That one's not stripped. That's why it's better to use a freaking razor blade. Alright. Got them all stripped. I'm going to pre-tin them. And then we'll solder them on there. Move that out of the way. Okay. Hopefully this iron's soldered up by now. It's heated up by now. Yep, looks like it is, for the most part. Yeah, just barely. That one. They're all pre-tinned, and let's go ahead and wire it up. So we'll go ahead and do plus and negative. Positive, negative first. So positive's there. Once I can get a good grip on it. Alright. negative. Move the wires over a little bit. And then we have channel 1, which will be is transmit, which actually goes to a receive pin, is white. And the receive pin is that one. Now your wire color might be different, so I just chose whatever random color for whatever channel. So just make sure that your channel 1 is going to receive, and then your channel 2, which I have mine's yellow, but yours can be different, is going to transmit. Okay. So that's all wired up there. And now the next part pretty much is just putting, now the Chameleon comes with this plate, this battery pad, not the battery pad, but the sensor mount pad here. What we want to go ahead and do is just remove that. So I'm going to do that really quick here. Alright, I'm back. I took the pad off of it. Alright, I'm back. I took the pad off of it. Did you see? And on this type of mount I have here, just pretty much slide it. Doesn't matter which way it goes. It's all the same way. Just want to forcefully stick it in there. And try to kind of line it up with the holes. That's pretty good. Like that. And then we're going to take our Immortal T-mount. What I always do is I always stick it on one side and then I kind of like that with it. Oops, too much. There we go. So now it's like that. And then my receiver moved. Which honestly, I'll probably just leave it out because I need to bind the receiver anyway. So let's go ahead and just leave it out for now. And then the mount will just kind of fit like that. And then you just take your wire, you take the screws. And this is kind of the pain in the butt part. Let's see if I can do this without the camera. Because you have to kind of match them up. You have to kind of like go on an angle. It's actually not. There it goes. And I think that dropped in there. Yep. I think it grabbed. No, it didn't grab. Oh yeah, it did. Good. And that side, back side. Trying to see if it's grabbing or not. Yeah, I got it in there. On the side here. And the last one there. that's pretty much how it would mount on there, just like that. And then we'll just tuck that bit back there like so. So let's go ahead and get this all back together, and then let me show you the finished product. Alright guys, so it's all together. Got the top plate on there, have the Immortal T on there, have the Pagoda with the nice protective case on it. So it's pretty much all done. So the only thing we have left to go ahead and do is go ahead and connect it up to Butterflight, update the firmware on the flight controller, and get it all set up, bind the receiver, set up the radio, and then we'll be able to go ahead and fly and test out to see how this quad does in the air, and check out you know, Butterflight and all the new filters and everything else as well. So let's go ahead and stay with me and look forward to the next part, which will be Butterflight configuration or configurator, and then, you know, binding and all that stuff, and setting up a new model as well on your Tyrannus. I'll be using the QX7, so if you have the same radio, then it's pretty much gonna, you can just follow along with me. So let's go ahead, and I really appreciate you guys watching, and if you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.